Life isn't fair. Sorry to break it to you, and this video won't be fair on your life. Look, think of your own connection sentences while you have a long fucking day. 7 great trophyless seasons from great players. Only great players. This is key. Because no lie, there have been numerous very good and below players that have turned in great seasons that went trophyless because, well, they're not usually in great teams. And while there are many examples of great individual seasons at not so great clubs resulting in trophylessness, if you wish to view a longitudinal study on that matter, see the entire career of one Matt Letizia. For the younger viewers out there, that's the anti-vaxxer conspiracy bloke with the big nose. And he, come to think of it, was a great player, but of course his entire career took place before 2004, which as per usual is the earliest this video will travel to. But yes, unlike the actual very good and below examples such as the likes of Kiesling, Michu, Immobile, Quagliarella and all them, man, great players are usually in great teams, and in their great seasons their great clubs usually achieve great success, and therefore great players having great seasons and still going trophyless is pretty rare. And that rare section is precisely what we will explore in this video. Got it? Nope. Let's roll up. Number 7, Lionel Messi, 2013-2014. One of the very few seasons in Lionel Messi's legendary career where he finished with 0 silverware. And despite only being about 26 at the time, as a result of what felt like endless muscle problems and a comparative dip in form, there were actually shouts of him already being past his best. And that's crazy, not just cause what he went on to do literally the very next season, but he scored 41 goals that year as well. Hardly Ricky fucking Lambert, mate. The highlights of his 41 goals being the hat-trick at the away Classical where he became the Derby's greatest ever goal scorer. Again, he was 26 at the time, or 26 in human years anyway. Fuck knows how they count this shit in his home planet. As well as this amazing solo goal at Getafe. And boy, this just shows how incredible this man has been. Like bro, real talk, for the majority of world-class attackers that we've ever seen, including I believe every other attacker on this very list, this goal would have been one of, if not the greatest solo goal of the entire careers. Yeah, because it's Messi, ergo, because it's jumbled in between so many other moments of magic, it's basically never brought up. And let's not forget, he ended that season by carrying Argentina out of the World Cup group stages, eventually reaching the final. Not bad for a fella showing signs of decline. Number 6, Harry Kane, 2023-2024. And to be fair to Harry Kane, probably a couple of seasons during his Spurs days too. But come on, we all know he was more likely to recite "She Sells Seashells on the Seashore" without accidentally drowning Carl Frampton than winning something there. When he joined Bayern Munich though, a club that had won the last 10 straight Bundesliga titles, surely you'd think he'd dominate. And you'd be right, because let's be real, Harry Kane in his debut season outside the British Isles made the Bundesliga into his personal playground, moving like Messi and Ronaldo by tallying up more goals than games in the league, finishing the season with 57 goal contributions in 44 games across all competitions, winning the European Golden Boot, scoring a hat-trick in his very first German Classico, and then captaining his country to the final of the European Championships while banging in a further 3 goals. All to leave with nothing. What was the old saying again? You can take the man out of Tottenham, but you can't take the Tottenham out of the man. Oh, and fun fact, I actually used to work in Tottenham Court Road back in late 2010. And well, my fate basically mirrored that of most of Kane's managers. I got kicked out. And seriously, I hope this guy wins something soon, man. And to be fair, he's looked as good, if not even better this season. So, fingers crossed, mate. Number 5, Thierry Henry, 2005-2006. Yes, any of you who saw my 7 greatest one-man teams video would know that I've already covered Henry's 05-06 season with Arsenal. So yes, I'll just give a quick recap here. The 2005-2006 season was basically the beginning of the barren years for Arsenal, where they had to sell their best players practically every season to pay off the debt for the newly formed Emirates Stadium. And amidst all the turbulence, Thierry Henry found himself captaining a very young Arsenal side, of whom there was very little expected. but despite the shortcomings of those around him, Henry still comfortably won his last ever Golden Boot in England, with probably the most vital trio of his 27 league goals that season coming in the last ever game at Highbury, where he scored a hat-trick to secure top 4 for his club. Henry also took Arsenal on a sensational Champions League run that year, turning in some truly brilliant performances against the likes of Real Madrid, Juventus, and to an extent even Barcelona in the final. A final which he unfortunately came up short in. And then, since we're covering Henry in this video and not just Arsenal, he finished that season by finishing as the second joint top scorer in the World Cup that year, with 3 goals that included a winner against world champions Brazil in the quarter-final, before then losing another final. Told you life wasn't fair. Number 4, Jan Oblak, 2015-2016. So in case anyone's wondering why there hasn't been any defensive players on this list up to this point, well, as Sir Alex Ferguson once said, and I'm paraphrasing this by the way, I can't really remember the exact quote, or if it was in fact Sir Alex who said it. Was it? Look, budget is low here, okay? Doing research can go screw itself. So the quote goes something like, great attacks wins you matches, great defenses wins you trophies. And what that basically implies is, great defenders having great seasons usually reflects on how well the team is coached and therefore work together as a unit, which usually results in silverware. But of course, there's exception to almost every rule, and Jan Oblak in 2016 was a glaring exception to this one. He played for an Atletico side who finished 3rd in La Liga, only a couple of points behind the top 2 sides, despite scoring almost 50 goals less than the pair of them. And there is no question what, or rather who, was the main factor behind this enormous overachievement, as Oblak played all 38 games that season, conceding only 18 goals. 18 goals in a 38 game season. Just deep that for a second. Not to mention he also made it to the Champions League final, where, if we're being real for a second, he was terribly unlucky via A, a potentially offside goal, and B, the agony of penalties. And that, my friends, was basically the story of that season. Oblak doesn't do a madness, and all these Diego Lopez clones usually shit the bed. Actually, come to think of it, you reckon he had a shout of being in the one-man team video? Won't be the worst shout I've heard, I'll tell you that. Number 3, Cristiano Ronaldo, 2012-2013. From a potential contender for the one-man team video to a stonewall contender for the one-man team video. And funnily enough, the only reason he didn't make that list is the same reason why he's made this list. Real Madrid didn't win anything. Though that certainly doesn't change the fact that in 2012-2013, in the middle of Mourinho's myriad of mad melees with Madrid's main men that mainly manifest in the man's 3rd season at every club, one man kept his focus and delivered almost every time, particularly in the big games. He played with City both times, he came up clutch against United both times, he took it to Dortmund multiple times, and he destroyed Barcelona multiple times. Ballon d'Or, well deserved. Number 2, just a bunch of bres from Liverpool across just a bunch of different seasons. Jesus. Like, sorry if I sound like I'm talking about Conor McGregor's UFC career post about 2016, but I'm not sure whether to laugh or feel bad. Liverpool FC, if I were to conduct and conjure up a conservative calculation from about 2006 to 2018, and if I was to be more realistic from about 1990 to 2018, were pretty shit for most parts. But that does not mean they haven't had some world-class ballers turn in some stellar season where, in practically any other of the European giants, they'd have finished with a domestic cup at the very least. Fernando Torres in 2008 broke the record for most goals in a debut Premier League season. Won absolutely nothing. Steven Gerrard 2009 smashed in 37 goal contributions in 44 games, destroying Real Madrid and Manchester United along the way. Won absolutely nothing. Luis Suarez in 2014 danced around defenses, scored from 40 yards and equaled the Premier League single season goals record. Won absolutely nothing. Mohamed Salah in 2018 broke that record while also chipping in with 10 in the UCL on top of 14 assists in all competitions, and, you guessed it, won absolutely nothing. And listen, I'm not a Liverpool fan or anything, but as a fan of football, Liverpool Football Club, how fucking dare you? And number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo, 2014-2015. An individual who is simultaneously one of the most prolific footballers in history and one of the most decorated footballers in history had his most prolific season with 0 decoration. Work that one out, and once you have, you'd know that there really isn't much else that needs to be said. This truly was irony at the highest level, the world class level. And that is that. Agree or disagree beats indifference. So what do you think of this list? Are there any other great seasons from great players that went trophyless that I've missed out? Let me know in the comments below. And as usual, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Till next time, you keep rolling.